23 people hurt in a mass shooting, at least 3 in critical condition, 4 in serious. And about 24 hours later, still no official suspects. That's where we stand after last night's chaotic scene at Arcadia Lake in Edmond.
And now the focus really turns to police, their investigation, and the city of Edmond, ensuring people that Edmond and the lake are still safe places for your family.
KOCO's Jason Berger joining us live at the scene of that shooting. Jason, the mayor gave comments today. The governor himself is looking into this. Bring us up to speed.
Well, guys, it's now been over 24 hours since that shooting. Police have still not confirmed any arrests. However, this is where it happened here at Arcadia Lake, and 23 people were injured.
I'm doing better today. You know, I hate that I was shot, but honestly, I just feel I'm just glad and grateful that it wasn't a major injury. You know, I'm glad it was something that could be, you know, quickly bandaged up.
Edmond police did not give interviews Monday, but they did put out a new release saying the shooting at the Scissortail campground happened around 9 p.m. Sunday night and said in part, quote, "The incident occurred during an unsanctioned party that began after dark and was advertised across multiple social media platforms, drawing a large crowd of young adults from across the metro area. The event was not permitted or a reserved gathering."
It's still a great lake. It's still a great community, and we've got a lot of mountain bike trails and various other trails and stuff to do around here. It's sad that this happened here.
But Edmond's mayor did comment Monday.
We're among the safer cities in Oklahoma, especially when it comes to violent crime.
Mayor Mark Nash stated he would not comment on the law enforcement investigation into the shooting, but he did provide some insight on how Arcadia Lake is set up.
That is a public park campground area. So when it's a campground, you have access 24 hours a day if you're camping.
You can drive right to the campground without checking in with anyone after hours.
And there is staff there at this time of year until 6 p.m. unless an event has been scheduled at the pavilion there in that park.
The question was asked if police monitor that area regularly.
Why was there not a patrol? Because we don't patrol that 24 hours a day. We are reviewing all of our processes that pertain to how we manage that property.
23 people were injured, but police have not specified how many of those injuries were from gunshot wounds. Governor Stitt gave a statement Monday saying, quote, "I have been in contact with the commissioner of the Department of Public Safety, and what happened at Arcadia Lake is unacceptable. This kind of violence has no place in Oklahoma, and we will not tolerate it in our communities. We will find those responsible and hold them fully accountable." The mayor of Edmond pointed out the group at the lake did not have a permit to be there and did not get one to host an event. He was asked if he thought it would have been safer if the group had a permit to be there and if the city and park staff knew people would be at the pavilion. His response:
We've been told no because we don't permit it after a certain time of day.
Now, as of Monday night, we have not been told if there were any fatalities connected to this shooting. At last check, we know 3 victims were in critical condition, but once again, we have not been given an update on them, and Edmond Police tells us to expect an update coming up Tuesday morning. At Arcadia Lake, Jason Berger, KOCO 5 News.
Certainly a lot more to come. Jason, thank you. By the way, this was the second mass shooting in Oklahoma this year. The other happened in Lawton. On KOCO 5 News at 6 o'clock, we looked into how the Arcadia Lake mass shooting compared to previous that we have seen in our state's past. According to Gun Violence Archive, last night's shooting marking the highest number of victims in Oklahoma history, number of people injured in a shooting. We have the full breakdown for you posted online.
Community-based violence intervention program Live Free OKC says it is standing with the community in grief after this mass attack.
And tomorrow morning, the group will hold a news conference alongside other community members to talk about what happened and to let people know what services are available.
We want to really let the community know that we're here to stick together and that these kind of things don't have to happen. And our organization is here to help reduce some of these things that happen.
That news conference scheduled for 10:30 a.m. at Garden Oaks Community Center.
And as the investigation continues into the mass shooting, we're expecting to learn more from police in the morning. KOCO will bring you the very latest right here on air and online.